Tenshinhan, known commonly as Ten or Tien, is actually one of the greatest characters in the Dragon Ball franchise. The thing is, you wouldn't really know that if you haven't watched the original Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball Z is where most people start watching, without much context of the events of the original Dragon Ball. So, without context, what do people think of Tien? He is a strange fighter with a third eye and friends with some kind of little clown named Chiaotzu. Due to his more subdued personality compared to Yamcha, he doesn't stand out as much either. If anything, he almost seems like a lesser Piccolo. Piccolo is going through a whole development arc with his relationships to Gohan and Goku, and had a great fight against Raditz, really showing his character. And then we have Tien, an other stoic but disciplined fighter, and Piccolo, just being more interesting, takes away interest from Tien. Even if you're just appreciating their unique designs for this series, Tien is closer to a typical human compared to the unique alien that Piccolo is, with his green skin and sharp purple clothing and that cape. So all in all, Tien kind of seems like a redundant character who doesn't go through his own arc at all. We get to the Cell Saga and he is carried by one move, the Neo Tri-Beam, and he constantly is only effective when using it. He's vastly underpowered compared to the villains and the main characters, and doesn't really get any chances for his personality or character to shine. And then we look back. Tien, at the time of his debut, was a powerful martial artist under the tutelage of Master Shen, the Crane Hermit, a direct parallel to Master Roshi, the Turtle Hermit, making Tien a parallel to Goku himself. This makes Tien a true rival to Goku. Tien demolished Yamcha in the tournament, going so far as to break his leg when it wasn't even necessary to do so. Yamcha was already defeated. It's then when he faces Master Roshi, and his morals are thrown into question. See, Tien was taught not only by Master Shen, but also his powerful brother, Mercenary Tao. Tao is a powerful fighter, and almost killed Goku on their first confrontation. Shen and Tao raised Tien with mastery of martial arts, but without a strict moral code. Whereas Roshi taught to always be humble, Shen and Tao taught to seek power and use it to get whatever you may want. And even during the tournament, Shen uses Tien to settle his own feud against Roshi, keeping Tien down and using him more like a tool, despite Tien actually being way stronger than Shen at this point. So while they fight, Roshi shows what makes his teachings fundamental to the world of Dragon Ball. He tells Tien to follow the path of good, to listen to his conscience, and listen to his own skills. He implies Tien's own martial arts mastery isn't being properly utilized in the shadows, making this not just an appeal to morals, but to the meaning of martial arts itself. Roshi then shares his own philosophies that living with freedom and fun is much better than being despised like Shen is. Unlike Shen, who prioritizes his desire to show up Roshi and make money, Roshi admits why he wants to help Tien. It isn't for any ulterior motive. It's not to show up Shen. It's because he doesn't want to see Tien and his talents wasted. Even after Roshi tanks a Kamehameha, Roshi forfeits despite having much more in the tank. So Roshi tells Tien he forfeited because he wants to make way for the younger generation, which is the complete opposite of what Shen and Tao would do. Tao literally fought Goku, fought the younger generation. He tried to kill Goku. Those two make everything about themselves, whereas Roshi is trying to push on the next generation. Roshi even admits he probably would have lost if he kept fighting, something Tien can't understand why Roshi would admit, since he's been taught to put pride over everything else. But of course, Roshi doesn't believe pride in that way. This battle of philosophies, of martial arts and how people understand them as a tool versus a way of life, the pure enjoyment of martial arts against martial arts as a tool and source of pride, it's at the forefront of not only Tien's character, but arguably all of Dragon Ball. Tien's redemption and turn to good is set up here in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, and it comes to a climax with his fight with Goku in the finals of the tournament. After this, he realizes the truth in Roshi's words, and continues to seek martial arts mastery on the road to good, forever abandoning Shen after this. Afterwards, with King Piccolo, he fights against true evil, and he cements his goodness and himself as a rival to Goku. In the Piccolo Jr. arc, he rematches Goku, and Goku wins this time, kind of making them 1-1 in their battles against each other. And he also fights mercenary Tao, and Tao scars him, but Tien can easily defeat Tao, showing that his past may scar him, but he's okay with that, and he's stronger than what he was in the past. He's grown past it. It's a beautiful moment for Tien, and it shows he's still getting the development, even if he's not the main character of the arcs anymore. Even in the Saiyan saga, he has shown that he's willing to sacrifice everything for good, because he ends up killing himself in order to try to take down Nappa. But after the Saiyan saga, Tien pretty much stopped developing. He still seemed kinda strong, but he was eclipsed by a renewed focus on Krillin, and heavy focus on new characters like Vegeta and Gohan. Piccolo kinda took his role for rival, until again Vegeta took that role from Piccolo. By the Cell Saga, he is used as an example of someone in the wrong when Trunks first arrives, and he doesn't trust Trunks, despite characters we are supposed to like Gohan and Krillin, instantly trusting him. Is this used for development for Tien? Learning to accept people who walk down the path like he used to? A way to get him to like Vegeta or trust strangers? No, he is just too irrelevant to get any growth or exploration like that. He has one cool moment about his power where he tri-beamed Cell, and you could see that as a representation of a forgotten character still finding a way to be useful. Someone made irrelevant by the plot. And is that really what we want for him? Don't we want him to be an actual character, not a sort of meta look at his own uselessness? Well, the Neo Tri-Beam, what seems to be the only relevance Tien really has in Z, an attack that sacrifices himself for the sake of stopping a villain. But it was already done against Nappa, and it becomes the only thing Tien ever does. Even in Super, he has no more development. He has just become a static character. A Tien who doesn't develop or change, or is even challenged or explored on his philosophies like it was in his debut. He is a rival to no one anymore, not to Goku, not even to Roshi. He doesn't get to be the center of the martial arts philosophy of the world anymore. Why? Well, because of the title of the video. There's one retcon that epitomizes everything that went wrong with Tien. And before we reveal that retcon, make sure to subscribe, since only 1% of my viewers are actually subscribed, and it's the only way to guarantee my videos reach my viewers and grow my channel, so I can continue making videos. Now, that retcon that demonstrates why Tien stopped working after the original Dragon Ball. Tien's third eye. Tien's third eye, when he originally appeared, was meant to be a symbol of something. In multiple real-world religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, the third eye is the eye of wisdom. By heavy meditation or deep understanding of the world or yourself, one can awaken the third eye, and an awakened third eye represents being enlightened, an understanding of auras and chakras. Religion, of course, inspires martial arts, and so Tien's third eye represents a martial arts mastery, or just a general enlightenment. Tien having the third eye, as someone who understands martial arts in such a deep level, but is being used by the evils of Shen and Tao, is meant as a character and story device. We want him freed from Shen and Tao, because we agree with Roshi, who sees his talent and technique as having a higher purpose than simply using them for money or for evil. We are inherently interested in someone enlightened in the core theme of Dragon Ball, martial arts, so we agree with Roshi that Tien should be the focus, and he should no longer be overshadowed by the older generation, and he should put his talents to good use. Tien is able to finally combine his enlightenment with his philosophy, and that's when we begin to unleash the potential of his character. So with this idea in mind of Tien as an enlightened martial artist, who is brought into the Dragon Team and learn to carry these righteous philosophies, where will the story go to explore that? That's what's interesting. That is what makes Tien a compelling character. But Tien's third eye is kind of an elephant of the room when we get to Dragon Ball Z. So gone was the fantastical world of classic Dragon Ball with beast people and living demons. Science and space became the core world building. Implications of Buddhist awakenings or naturally born monkey men had to be thrown away. It became a less miraculous series and more of a sci-fi series. No longer was there room to explore Tien's martial arts philosophies when the setting of the story had moved so far away from that. And in 1995, in the midst of the Buu saga, Tien received a nail in the coffin. The retcon that epitomizes why this character was pretty much devalued with the shift from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. In the fourth Daizenshu, which is an extended series of guidebooks written by a staff that works on Dragon Ball, it is revealed that Tien is a descendant of the Triclops alien race. Alien. So, they're saying Tien is a descendant of aliens. This is never mentioned ever in the actual story. So yes, this retcon encapsulates Dragon Ball's movement away from the martial arts philosophies. Tien was all about it. Yes, this retcon encapsulates Dragon Ball's movement away from the martial arts philosophies Tien was all about, into a sci-fi alien-based series that Tien is just kind of another afterthought alien in. And I'm not saying Alien is bad, but it's so different than what he was before. Obviously, I love Piccolo, and I do like the demon to alien retcon for the Namekians, but when it comes to Tien, it should just not have been done. Gone are the implications of martial arts mastery hidden in the shadows of evil, only to be awakened by the core philosophies of Dragon Ball emerging through major martial arts battles. Instead, are meaningless aliens who only exist to factor in strange abilities. These special abilities used to show Tien's enlightenments, like his ability to grow 4 arms or clone himself, it was meant to show a special control of his own body that was gained through his enlightenment. But the meaning is reduced to nothing, with him being stated to have these abilities just because he's some kind of alien. Everything I've praised about the character up to this point is saddled down by this retcon. Am I supposed to believe Tien was just bored with his abilities? Instead of studying martial arts with such dedicated sincerity, he awakened his third eye to completely control his body? Well, if there's a bright side to this retcon, it's that it might not be canon. So, of course, Dragon Ball canon is a nebulous thing, but it's not something actually ever officially stated in the manga or even the television shows. The Triclops alien fact is only referenced in side material like guidebooks or video games, and has never been stated by Akira Toriyama himself. In fact, in an interview, Toriyama stated that Tien's third eye was actually awakened like the religious beliefs, but was depowered by Tien working with the evil Crane Hermit and mercenary Tao. This fits the original vision of the Dragon Ball world and Tien's character so well, and this interview came out 2003, 8 years after that original retcon. So Toriyama must have still held to this belief, even if one of his editors said differently in the Daizenshu. I believe there is still hope for Tien. I believe we could look past that retcon and focus on Toriyama's original vision for Tien, and he could once again become the interesting character he started out as. Toyotaro, the current head of Dragon Ball, has also never referred to the Triclops race, despite having acknowledged other pieces of lore from the wider Dragon Ball universe that Toriyama did not contribute to, like that drug that turns you into a beast man or characters like Turles. As Toriyama's successor, maybe Toyotaro can show a renewed focus on Tien, with respect for Toriyama's original vision for him, instead of what I can only presume to be an editor's headcanon that has now become a common, I want to say misconception, but nebulous canon for Tien? Anyways, all that is just my thoughts on Tien and how that one retcon kind of epitomizes everything that went wrong with him, and how we can have some hope for the future if we really pay attention to Toriyama's words in specific, and not words from guidebooks or used for video games. But thanks for watching, and share your thoughts below. What do you think of Tien? What do you think of the retcon? Do you actually like that they made him a descendant of an alien? Or would you prefer the original like I do? I'd love to hear all your opinions in the comments. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.